Breaking news, two lawyer men traveling from Kakamega to Nairobi shocked many yesterday after stopping a bus for more than 1 hour looking for a chicken that had freed itself from the bus and ran into the thicket. These two lawyer men walked into the thicket and failed to find this chicken. They refused to board back the bus, saying they are not going to travel without the chicken. The driver of the bus had to promised them that he will buy them chicken once they get to Nairobi. Until then, these two lawyer men had refused to board the bus and go to Nairobi. Yes, hii ndio mambo inatoka hapo Western. Watu wawili wamekataa kabisa kupanda basi juu wamepoteza kuku until the driver promised them to buy hii kuku wakifika Nairobi.
Let's get the facts right. Majority of Kenyans live hand to mouth. Hii ni juu hakuna mboka. In case you didn't know, the minimum wage of a working Kenyan citizen at the moment is at 18,000 Kenyan shillings. Employment siku hizi imekuwa kama game ya Manchester, yani hakuna kazi. In short, we are living below the poverty line. The gap between the poor and the rich is so huge. Lakini kitu amuoni ni, tukiendelea hivi, this small problem will steadily rise to a national catastrophe. And if these statistics are correct, it means that 7 out of 10 people you encounter aged under 35 are unemployed. In a third world country, that's a ticking time bomb. No wonder tukosi mbogi ya kutulalisha mteja. Na hii yote inaletwa na viongozi wenyewe tunachagua. Maskini anazidi kuwa maskini, matajiri wakitajirika beyond measure. Ukiambia ukweli, since unaekewa za cabbage, unajam. We jam, when reality hits, utatii.
Kuna kitu nimeona yenye naona ni strange. Imetoka kwa kinyozi, as you can see. Mashallah. Nike huko nilikuwa nasikiza Radio Maisha. Hiyo ndio station nilikuwa najaza huko. Na walileta news around your time ilikuwa wakasema income tax collection ya KRA imeshuka. Na imeshuka juu people like companies are hiring people more on temporary contracts than permanent contracts. And because of this, less people have permanent jobs and less people are able to pay income tax regularly. So collections imeenda chini. According to that story that nimesikia huko. So nimefika home, nikataka kufanya research on the income tax collection. Nikapata 2 stories from last month. One story is published by the government itself and the other story is published by NTV. The story by the government is saying that the government has exceeded KRA tax revenue has exceeded 16 billion. The NTV story is saying KRA has missed its target by 48 billion. And all these stories are from exactly around a month ago on 29th July. So the question is, who's telling the truth? May not want to be that guy. Lakini kama ningepick a side ya nani ananiambia ukweli, singepick gava. Nisitrust gava. In fact, vile mimi naona huko haikuona William Ruto ama mabeshte wake wakikwambia economy iko sawa, vitu zinaenda poa, usiwaamini. In fact, hata usiwasikize. Vitu wanasema si za ukweli, si za maana. Lakini hiyo ni opinion yangu. Wewe una trust nani?
So for example, if you want to stay in a really nice place, say you want to stay in an affluent place area like Kitisuru, you would pay say 200,000 Kenyan shillings per month for a 3-bedroomed beautiful mansion. Sindio, 200,000 Kenyan shillings per month. Do you know how many months you would pay to get to $1 billion? I lost count, but I know that you would go for 4 centuries. 4 centuries paying 200,000 Kenyan shillings per month. 4 centuries before you get to $1 billion. That's 400 years. 200,000 Kenyan shillings per month. That's $1 billion. So when you see $1 billion lost, Anton, pay attention to $1 billion. So how much is $1 billion? The other day I saw that there was almost 40 billion Kenyan shillings that were unaccounted for on eCitizen in Kenya. And I wonder, goodness me, how much rent would that be? So I went and looked it up.
Majenzi wakisema that this country is rich enough to sustain us all, atukuangi na kicha. Apparently, there is someone who had offered former Governor Mike Mbuvi Sonko 5 million every day ndo tu asibadilishe system ya kucollect revenue in Nairobi. 5 million every day. Let's do the math. 5 million iko na 0.6 times 365. That's 1.825 billion in a year. 1.825 billion times 5 years. That's 9 billion in 5 years. Hiyo ni hongo kwa mtu mmoja. Now imagine how much those guys wa collect revenue walikuwa nakula. Kama wanahonga mtu 9 billion in 5 years. How much are they keeping themselves? And that's just one county, one deal. 9 billion in 5 years. Imagine the other sectors in the county. Kuna mabarabara zinajengwa, kuna mahospitali zinajengwa, kuna mashule zinajengwa. Now imagine all those deals in just one county. Now imagine the 47 counties. Now imagine the executive. Kuna madeals mengi zinapigwa za mining, za healthcare, za barabara, za security. Hizo zote. Imagine how much we can save if there were not these deals za kuiba pesa. Imagine how many hospitals could be built. Imagine how many people could access primary health care for free. How many people could access free education. Imagine, just imagine. How much could we save in terms of debt if we had all this money being saved? Just imagine. And that is the country that we intend to build. A corruption-free country. We know that this country is rich. We know that a lot is lost through corruption. And that is what we intend to end for this country to thrive.
The worst mistake Kenyans have ever made in the history of Kenya is making William Ruto the president of the Republic of Kenya. That was the worst mistake in Kenyan history. And it must be rectified come 2027. That mistake we made in 2022 must be rectified in 2027. Come rain, come shine. It must be rectified. We cannot continue like this. We cannot continue like this. We cannot afford to continue this kind of nonsense we are seeing in the country. I thought William Ruto was the guy to stop the abductions. I thought William Ruto was the best guy to stop the police brutality and the police killings. I lied to myself and I made a mistake voting for him. Come 2027, I'm going to do the right thing as an individual. And as a country, we must also make a decision that we are going to rectify that. In the history of Kenya, we will rectify that in one term. We are not going to wait for 10 years. We cannot afford for William Ruto to go for another term. The country will go to the dogs. If we make a mistake again come 2027, it will be worse. Imagine this is his first term and we have seen all these things happening. The abductions, killing of innocent Kenyans in the police cell. Police brutality has increased. Education is going to the dogs as we speak. Many university students cannot afford to go to school. Actually, education system is collapsing. Look at healthcare. Nothing is working in this country apart from affordable housing and something called SHA, which is not also working. We must rectify our mistake come 2027, my fellow Kenyans. We must rectify that mistake. William Ruto is a mistake that has ever happened to the country, and we must rectify it.
You've noticed that in Kenya, there's a stage to which you grow.
Yes.
And then the system starts to become weaponized against you.
Agreed.
All of a sudden, tax, KRA,
Everything,
like
everything. Yeah.
And if you're able to navigate that, then there's the political system that wants to predate on you. We're having a bit of a conversation about that.
Yeah.
Or rent.
Planned poverty is a pyramid. At the top is 10% ruling class. The middle, 30%. That's the so-called middle class. And at the bottom are the masses. So in planned poverty, 60% of the population are perpetually meant to be poor. Then they should only be focusing on tumbo, what to eat today. That is why you see Kenya Kwanza and Ruto and Lee, all they talk about is price of ugali. Your concern when you wake up in the morning is tumbo, how to put something in your stomach. That is for the 60% of the population. So they will do everything to make sure that all you care about is food in your stomach, period. Then you go to the middle, the so-called 30% middle class. To them also, they are given little comfort. But they are caught up in mortgage schemes that are very expensive. The healthcare system is not working. They have to rely on private healthcare. And they must be beholden to their jobs. Because you just know one slight mistake like this, you'll join the Tumbo group. Right? And the intention is they should never focus on the 10%. So the entire wealth of the nation is controlled by the 10%. So everybody down the pyramid is serving the 10%. So you only have few people with money. That's what they're doing to it. That's demand side economics. As we are saying, supply side. I want to see little kings everywhere, people with money. Why should we have a planned poverty? Why should we have the pyramid? What is my problem if Okinyi graduates and is running a media enterprise? He's able to access capital to put up a proper studio and employ more young people. They sell their content. Why should that be my problem? I should be happy as government that Okinyi is going to make money and pay tax. These young people that he has employed are going to spend in my economy. I'll be able to collect tax, in consumption tax, VAT, to put up development projects, roads. So why should I go to the bank to squeeze out this young entrepreneur from accessing capital? Or I take capital at 17% so that when he goes, he'll be asked to pay 25%. Where will he afford? I want to be out of that market. I should not be competing with him. The market should be begging this young man to take a credit facility at 3% interest rate. You can access a credit of even 50 million. What can't you do with that? And you have already market. You have an idea in your mind. That is how to break down this chain of colonialism. This is now neo-colonialism. And it is designed to make you fail. Don't even for a moment think, when you hear anybody from Kenya Kwanza discussing with you the price of unga ugali, that is helping you. No, he is actually affirming to you that you are actually at the place where they want you to be. To only focus on your stomach. That I've eaten today, now I'm okay. Tomorrow is another day. I'll also eat. Yeah, you are comfortable at 60% poor. You have no chance to go to middle class. And middle class, because I have this small job that I'm holding on to dearly, a slight slip, and I'm down. They will not allow you, because they don't want you to focus to be part of the ruling class, to be the elite. Our society should not have a structured pyramid. Everybody, based on their ability, should be able to rise to the top.
Okay.
And there should be no top and bottom. We should all be one. Man is born free, but everywhere is in chain.
In 2022, most Gen Zs were too young to vote. But by 2027, 14 million Gen Zs will be eligible to vote, a massive increase of 79%. Back in 2022, youth aged between 18 and 34 made a total of 8.8 million of registered voters, accounting for 40% of Kenya's total voter base. Right now, Gen Z is aged between 13 and 28 years. This means millions will be ready to vote in 2027. The total number of youth voters is expected to hit 17 million, forming the largest and possibly most influential voting bloc in the country. This generation isn't just big in numbers. They have led protests, mobilized online, and called out for accountability. But the big question remains, will they show up at the ballot and use their numbers to change the game in 2027?
Ruto, makosa utafanya 2027, acha tu nikuambie mapema. Ni ati tumepiga kura kuchange governance, tunataka good governance, alafu tunaona tuna lead kwa screen atu watu wamekupigia kura, utatuambia nani alikupigia hizo kura na hizo namba zenye una lead nayo mbele ulitoa wapi?
Wakili, how are you doing?
I'm okay, love. How are you?
I'm good.
Yes.
Gachagua already sees himself as the better candidate for 2027. Now that you are also in Safina Party, why should Kenyans believe on the Jimmy Wanjigi Willis Utinyo ticket as the real alternative?
Because we are chaperoning politics of issues. Yeah. It's about the people's agenda, not about politicians. Yeah. So it should not be about an individual. What does that individual represent as the issue that is of concern to the people of Kenya? So ask us, what do we stand for? We stand for the economy.
What vision and future plans do you have?
Our vision is very straightforward and it's very clear. We are going to pay odious debt. Illegal debt, we will not pay.
Yeah.
Then you ask us, what will you do with the money that you save? We will not pay for, Kenya will not pay for education. It will be free. They will not pay for healthcare. It will be free. We are going to stop borrowing from domestic market. With your ideas, you can walk into a bank here and access capital at a lesser interest rate. Today, you go there, interest rate 20%. Yeah. Why? Because government is borrowing heavily from that market. We'll stop borrowing from the domestic market. Let Kenyans access that money. Interest rate will fall to 3%. You borrow 1 million, in a year you are paying 30,000 at 3% interest rate. Who will not be able to economically feel empowered? Yeah. That is the difference between us and legacy politicians. Yeah. To them, it's about me, mtu wetu. I need to be a big person. No, we want Kenyans to be the big person by having money in their pockets.
Thank you so much, Wakili.
Thank you.
Ruto simpigi kura. Amenajisi inchi. Bila kutumia hata kondom.
This is Selector Dede.
Wanadhani ya bongo lala, ikikupita we bongo lala. Na walosema jana iwezi fika leo, tuko ground tunasoja. Akijikuku mewaka sana, na mabisto na chafua raga. Na walosema jana iwezi fika leo, tuko ground tunasoja. Hakuna mboka, peleke shuleni watasoma. Madaktari wamegoma, hapa sani Yesu atatuponya. Wambie punde imechoka sana, farasi bado ijapatikana. Ni mandai wanagonya na mali wanaponda, unakonda wananona. Maandamano, 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 amise maandamano, maandamano.